Joe Scarborough is going to go off on the torture report, but his argument is basically forget about torture because drones.
Does it contribute to an endless cycle of hatred? And that ultimately, in the long run, isn't in the national interest.
It doesn't. Us waterboarding 3 terrorists in 2002 and 2003 doesn't. I will tell you what does contribute to an endless cycle of hatred and what does create new terrorists every day. When drone bombs are dropped on entire families and you're willing to kill 15, 16 innocent people to kill the one bad guy because you don't want to do what we did with Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, which is do a lot of really good hard intel work, find out what neighborhood he's in Karachi, go in, grab him, pull him out, save everybody that he's living with, take him to a black site, interrogate him, get information that actually saves thousands of American lives down the road. So that's actually let's go ahead and just kill them all. And if we kill 5-year-old girls and we kill 85-year-old grandmas, so be it. We feel better about ourselves because that seems cleaner. That's what liberals are saying today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's what they're saying. That's what Joe Biden's been saying. That's what Barack Obama's been saying. The drone program went into overdrive on January 21st, 2009. And when you talk about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, the information comes out about this drone program, Mike Barnacle, and people actually report on this drone program, it's going to look a hell of a lot worse, a hell of a lot deadlier, a hell of a lot more random, and a hell of a lot more inhumane than waterboarding 3 prisoners.
Some of that is 100% wrong, and some of it is 100% right. So, the area where he's wrong is how he's poo-pooing torture, like it was nothing, and I don't know if you heard him say it, he said it multiple times. He goes, well, we tortured 2 or 3 people back in 2002, and then he moves on to the next thing very quickly. Well, that's not the case. In fact, this torture report, what it shows is that we tortured over 100 people. 26 of the people at least were innocent. At least that's what the CIA is admitting to, that at least 26 were innocent. My suspicion is that it's more. It wasn't just waterboarding. It was rectal feeding, which is basically state-sanctioned rape. They shove a tube up your ass and pump liquid food in there. There's sleep deprivation, hypothermia. One person died from hypothermia, so this is government-sanctioned murder. There was insect torture, all these various forms of torture, and it was done in a systemic fashion. It wasn't just 2 or 3. It wasn't an anomaly. It's not something to poo-poo. You should be outraged by it, absolutely outraged. But he pushes that aside to make the point that, well, drones are the real problem. Drones are the real issue. We're killing so many innocent people. We're creating more terrorists. We blew up a grandma in Pakistan. Now, that's true, but he's wrong to say torture, don't look at that, drones, look at that. A real progressive, or not even a progressive, because we don't need to make this political, a real smart person would say, I condemn both. I think both are immoral. Yes, doing insect torture, rectal feeding, and sleep deprivation is morally depraved, and doing drone strikes that kill innocent civilians, that is also morally depraved. But see, he's trying to twist it into a partisan point, because he's trying to downplay the torture and play up the drones. Well, if you're being straightforward, if you're being honest, if you're being objective, you would say, I'm not going to defend the Republican torture and go after the Democratic drone strikes. I'm going to go after the Republican torture and go after the Democratic drone strikes, because they're both wrong. And understand something. Let's say we did the drone program in a different way. So let's say we went through all the proper legal channels. We got approval through Congress whenever we did a drone strike, and we got approval through the UN and NATO, and we follow with clear missions, and we go through international law in the proper channels, and we have defined goals, and then we use the drones every once in a while. In that case, I'm even for drones, but you need layers of oversight, and you need to go through the proper legal channels. The problem with drone strike today isn't just drone strikes, isn't just the whole category of drone strikes, it's how we're doing them, how We're not abiding by international law. We're not abiding by U.S. law. And we're basically doing cowboy-style retribution and just blowing up random people. And thousands of times we've gotten the wrong people. But the issue of torture, there is no good torture. There is no such thing as good torture. Because torture across the board is illegal. It's also unconstitutional. I mean, we're violating the rules that we set up, going back to the Geneva Convention to the Nuremberg Tribunal. We've gone over this so much in the past few days, you guys are probably tired of hearing about it. But this is why it's so frustrating to listen to people in the mainstream media, because they all have an agenda. You hear Joe Scarborough trying to say, oh, the Republicans aren't the bad guys, whatever, torture, don't focus on that. Focus on the bad drone strikes. You never hear anybody come out there and say, they're both wrong. Stop making this a Democrat-Republican thing. Don't do stupid drone strikes that kill grandmas and hit wedding processions, as we've done, and don't torture people. It's not that difficult, and if you're willing to be smart about it and willing to be fair about it, everybody would be saying that.